My childhood babysitter disappeared in 2005, last week. I found her still 17 and smiling in my parents' basement. The first time I heard the thumping under the floorboards, I thought it was the pipes. It was late, around 1 a.m. I just moved back into my parents' house temporarily while going through a brutal divorce. I hadn't stepped foot in that place since college, and I swore I never would again. But life has a way of kicking you when you're already on your knees. So I packed up my apartment, swallowed my pride, and drove back to the cul-de-sac I'd spent my entire teenage years trying to escape. The house hadn't changed much. Same creaky steps. Same yellowing wallpaper in the hallway. Same dead porch light that my dad never replaced. It was like stepping into a perfectly preserved museum of my adolescence. I was crashing in the basement. My old room had been turned into a home office full of dusty boxes and unused exercise equipment. The basement had that cold, damp smell that always clung to the walls no matter how many scented candles you burned. But it was quiet, and I needed quiet. That first night, I tossed and turned on the old futon. The wind outside howled, branches scratched the windows. But that wasn't what woke me. It was the sound. A soft thump, then another, then a dragging noise, coming from the floorboards beneath the basement stairs. I sat up, heart knocking against my ribs. Maybe a raccoon got in. Maybe old pipes expanding. Houses make noises, I told myself. But that sound wasn't random. It was rhythmic, like someone moving. I crept toward the stairs, phone flashlight in hand, trying not to breathe too loud. The sound stopped. Total silence. I waited. Nothing. So I went back to bed. The next morning at breakfast, I casually mentioned it to my dad. He was making his usual burnt toast and instant coffee, looking more like a scarecrow than the man who used to bench press me when I was 5. "Oh yeah," he said without looking up. "House settles weird. You'll get used to it." But it sounded like something moving. He shrugged. Maybe the foundation shifting. Basement's always been strange. He didn't even blink. My mom was nowhere to be seen. I asked about her and he muttered something about a church retreat. She'd be back in a few days, which was odd. Mom never went anywhere alone. But I didn't push. That night I heard it again. This time louder. Thump, thump, drag. It was coming from the far corner of the basement, behind the old shelves piled with paint cans and Christmas decorations. I grabbed my phone again and tiptoed over. I shined the light between the cracks in the shelf. Something gleamed back at me. A small round eye. Not an animal eye. Not red or reflective. Just human. I screamed and stumbled backward, knocking over a box of tangled Christmas lights. When I looked again, it was gone. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I went into full investigation mode. I waited until my dad left for his walk. He always took an hour-long lap around the neighborhood. And then I got to work. I moved the shelves, inch by inch, revealing the dusty wall behind them. And there, behind a long roll of carpet, I found it. A door. A small wooden door, no more than 5 feet high, with a brass...
Full story on channel link below.